from a friend who heard it from a friend who heard it from another. You've been messing around. They say you got a boyfriend, you're out late every weekend. They're talking about you and it's bringing me down. But I know the neighborhood, and talk is cheap when the story is good, and the tales grow taller on down the line. But I'm telling you, babe, that I don't think it's true, babe. And even if it is, keep this in mind. You take it on the run, baby, if that's the way you want it, baby. Then I don't want you around. I don't believe it, not for a minute. You're under the gun, so you take it on the run. You're thinking up your white lies, you're putting on your bedroom eyes. You say you're coming home, but you won't say when. But I can feel it coming. If you leave tonight, keep running, and you need never look back again. You take it on the run, baby, if that's the way you want it, baby. Then I don't want you around. I don't believe
it's gonna last. Well, you wouldn't even know a diamond if you held it in your hand. The things you think are precious I can't understand. Are you reeling in the years, stowing away the time? Are you gathering up the tears? Have you had enough of mine? Are you reeling in the years, stowing away the time? Are you gathering up the tears? Have you had enough of mine? You've been telling me you're a genius since you were 17. In all the time I've known you, I still don't know what you mean. The weekend in the college didn't turn out like you planned. The things that pass for knowledge I can't understand. Are you reeling in the years, stowing away the time? Are you gathering up the tears? Have you had enough of mine? Are you reeling in the years, stowing away the time? Are you gathering up the tears? Have you had enough of mine?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Please begin to make your way to your tables. The program will begin shortly. Thank you.
Hollywood is etched upon my mind. After all the things we've done and seen, you find another man. The things you think are useless, I can't understand. Are you reeling in the years, stowing away the time? Are you gathering up the tears? Have you had enough of mine? Are you reeling in the years, stowing away the time? Are you gathering up the tears? Have you had enough of mine?
Rolled out of bed and she ran to the police station. When the papa found out, he began to shout and he started the investigation. It's against the law. It was against the law. Oh, what the mama saw. It was against the law. The mama looked down and spit on the ground every time my name gets mentioned. Papa said, oh, if I get that boy, I'm gonna stick him in a house of detention. Well, I'm on my way. I don't know where I'm going. I'm on my way. I'm taking my time, but I don't know where. Goodbye to road. Rose, the queen of Corona. See me and Julio down by the schoolyard. See me and Julio down by the schoolyard.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats.
But the press let the story leak. Now when the radical priest come to get me released, we is all on the current news week, and I'm on my way. I don't know where I'm going, I'm on my way. I'm taking my time, but I don't know where. Goodbye to Rose, the queen of Corona. See me and Julio down by the schoolyard. See me and Julio down by the schoolyard. See me and Julio down by the schoolyard.
Just a word of congratulations to the athletes that are being honored this year. There are many things that have taken place in St. Augustine history in the last 63 years. We look forward in the future, continue day by day to eventually be classified as the premier high school athletic program in the state of New Jersey. With that, I leave the success of the athletic program to the athletes, the coaches, the administration, the parents, and the tremendous support that they get from the students that are attending St. Augustine Prep today. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the first induction for the 2022 Hornets Athletics Hall of Fame.
Hi everyone, this is Matt Miles, 1993 graduate of St. Augustine Prep. Today I wanted to take some time and congratulate Justin Abbey on being inducted into the St. Augustine Prep Hall of Fame. Well deserved. What I most remember about Justin is his fierce tenacity and competitiveness. Every game, every practice, Justin was out there leading by example. Wasn't afraid to mix it up. High energy guy, always wanted the best for the team and got others motivated behind him. A true playmaker in the middle of the field, a true goal scorer. What I remember the most, and probably the goal that changed the trajectory of the St. Augustine soccer program, is the one that he scored versus Pingaree, which was essentially a walk-off goal with 1 or 2 seconds left. That goal changed forever, I believe, the way the St. Augustine program went from there on out, and as it is today. We went on again to win another state championship the year after, and with Justin's playmaking ability, the way he did everything on the field and led by example was remarkable. So congratulations, Justin. Enjoy it, and I hope to see you soon.
Thanks, Matt. Still killing it together on the field and in the announcements. Welcome to the 2022 St. Augustine Prep Athletic Hall of Fame dinner. It's a real honor for me to be inducted this year. I would like to apologize for the fact that I can't be there in person. I really wanted to be here. It's just ended up not working out. But I'm there in spirit, and I couldn't be more proud of my induction. It's been 31 years since graduation, and 30 years since graduation. And I'm super honored. I got the call from Dennis this year, and I would like to thank the board for voting me in. It's just, like I said, it's a super honor. In my experience at St. Augustine, I came in as a freshman, a young boy, and was really just trying to find myself like all the other young kids that come to the school. And it was really different. Obviously, all boys, and I was like, Dad, what are you doing to me? But in the end, it was the best decision that my parents ever made for me, and the sacrifices that they made to get me here, forever grateful. My teammates, first and foremost, my classmates and my teammates, like, you guys gave me the greatest experience of my life. Some of the greatest memories, and so from an athletic standpoint, it really was the highlight of my life, and I had a good career in college and professionally, but I look back on my time at St. Augustine in the most fun light. For those of you that don't know, we were able to go to 3 straight state championships, winning the last 2, our junior and senior year. For me personally, I scored a goal with 2 seconds left my junior year to win the state final, and that was the highlight of my athletic career. We were able to go back the next year and do it again. We had a person that impacted all of us in a way that I feel like should be mentioned for sure, is Coach Pete Mace. He came in and brought a new culture in the soccer realm to St. Augustine and had crazy success, and the players that played for him went on to have great careers in high school, college, and professionally. So thank you, Coach. I'd like to thank Coach Rodeo, who was the athletic director and the basketball coach, and an incredible influence on me personally at that time, and I know all the other guys that were there as well. So thank you, Coach. But all the whole brotherhood, the Hermit brotherhood, is something that it's very real. My pride in being a graduate of St. Augustine and being now inducted into the Hall of Fame is incredible. I was inducted into the South Jersey Hall of Fame a few years ago, and I was telling my wife the other night that this is indeed a better honor to me personally, just because I know the quality of people and the what it takes, and like the level of people that St. Augustine's putting out into the world. So thank you, everyone, and I'd like to introduce the Master of Ceremonies, 1982 graduate Dave Catalana. Dave, take it away.
Thank you very much, Justin, and congratulations to Justin on the induction into the Hall of Fame, and welcome to everyone here tonight. This is a fantastic showing where all of us on the committee are just so excited to see so many people here, more than we could probably even imagine, but we're very, very excited to be here, and I'm very honored that they asked me to serve as the Master of Ceremonies tonight. As Justin said, I am a proud member of the class of 1982. We will be celebrating our 40th reunion this year from graduation from St. Augustine. Who could believe that? But we are. And, you know, if you're like me or one of the older guys like me, I didn't have to even look up at the screen when I heard that voice on the introductory video. For so many of us, Mr. Anthony Spina has been a teacher, a mentor, just the person that I probably think of most when I think of St. Augustine Prep. And I think it's amazing that he is here with us tonight. Mr. Spina. You know, Mr. Spina was one of the co-founders of this place that we all know and love here in Richland, along with Father Joe Toscani and Brother Frank, and of course Father Steve LaRosa. And I don't know that they could have imagined what their little idea of this school in the woods for boys was going to amount to. I'm sure they knew it was going to be a great school academically. It's going to be a place where young men turn into Christian gentlemen, but I don't know that they could have even imagined the athletic success that this school has had over the years. And normally we like to tell our athletes to be humble in their winnings and be humble when you go out on the field. But tonight, we're among family, we're among brothers, we're among friends. So tonight, we're going to puff out our chest a little bit. We're going to brag a little bit about the successes of the athletics here at St. Augustine. And we're going to honor these 10 young men and one great team here tonight athletically. You know, the school was built by those gentlemen that I mentioned in that foundation, and they built that foundation so that Augustinians in the future could bring it to where it is today. Other Augustinians, like I said, like Father LaRosa, Father Paul Galetto, Father Don Riley, all the way up till today. And let me please introduce the head of the school today. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Father Robert Murray.
Dave, thank you very much. Good evening, everyone, and congratulations to those who will be inducted this evening. It's probably not good for me to begin by assuming what people are thinking, but I will. My suspicion is that for many of you, perhaps those who have not been on campus in a while, you probably found yourself thinking, boy, has this place changed since I've been here. And it has. We've added buildings and definitely the number of students. A good friend of mine, Father Paul Galetto, who will, I don't know if he's here now, but he will be here this evening, a little later. Father Paul, I remember walking on this campus with him years ago, and at that time I think they had about 250 students, and he said to me, Bob, my goal is to have 400 students, 100 for each class. Well, now we're looking at 700 students on this campus. We now have an 8th grade. And I'm not just saying that to puff out my chest, because it really isn't about me at all. But why? Why? Human beings, I'm convinced, are attracted to excellence. Human beings are attracted to excellence. That's why we have Olympics. That's why we have the Oscars. That's why we have the Nobel Prize. Human beings like to see human beings who are the best at their field. And oftentimes, as the head of school, I'm asked, what's the profile of a prep graduate? And quite honestly, this is it. This is what we're trying to produce every year when we graduate students. Students who come here on campus, who love the brotherhood, who want to do the best in all areas of life, academically, athletically, spiritually. And when that happens, other students want to come on campus. And so in many ways, tonight, we're stopping the video and we're saying thank you to you. But because you've said yes to your time here on the prep, and you've taken it to your college and to your career, our school is able to have 700 students. That's not by accident. It's because you've said yes to what the school is about. Tonight, I thank you and I congratulate you. Now let me make a little commercial before I say a prayer. Our students love when graduates come on campus. Our students love when you share your story and your success. So please be open to coming back on campus whenever you want and to speak to our students, because in many ways they sit here and think, that person was once on this campus. I could do that. I could be like that. And believe me, that goes a long way. So tonight, I thank you, I congratulate you, and I invite you. And at this time, I want to say a prayer for all of us, and as we ask God's blessing on this evening. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen. Almighty God, we thank you for the presence of one another and for this time that we have to share. I ask you to bless the inductees this evening, their spouses, their parents, who in many ways sacrifice so much for them to be here at the school, to drive them to practice, to congratulate them in success, to console them in sorrow. I ask you to bless their parents who now live in your presence. And Lord, we ask you to bless our time. May everything we be about be directed to bring one another closer to you. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen. St. Augustine, pray for us. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen. Have a great evening. God bless.
Thank you very much, Father. So before we get to our next inductee, just want to give you an idea of the flow of tonight and how things are going to go, and also tell you really quickly how we got here tonight. First off, the flow of tonight is very informal. So you are more than welcome to, while you're sitting there, to get up, to get some more food, to go get a drink, whatever you want to do. It's very informal here. We will have a short break in the middle of about 15 minutes so you can, again, get more food, bring back to your table. But again, very informal. Please move around if you'd like to. Secondly, for the recipients tonight, as you get your awards tonight, we would ask if you could just stay to the end. We want to do some group photos with all of the recipients if we can. We're not going to do it while you're receiving up here, but we would like to do it at the very end. So for those recipients, hang around. Not sure how we're going to handle the hockey team, but we'll try. How we got here tonight. So as many of you know, St. Augustine has a Hall of Fame already that we ran for about 16 years from 1996 through 2011. And when we did the original Hall of Fame, there was actually two segments. We did an Athletic Hall of Fame and also a Cultural Hall of Fame. And we also inducted people into what we called the Hermit Pride Award. And the Hermit Pride Award was set aside for people who did not graduate from St. Augustine, but had a huge influence on the school, either athletically or in some other way. So when we did that for the 16 years, there were a total of 101 men inducted into the Hall of Fame, 41 in the cultural, 37 athletes, and 14 of these Hermit Prides. And some of them are here tonight. We'll mention them a little later on. 5 coaches were installed into the Hall of Fame: Paul Rodeo, Bob Malatesta, Larry Aldridge, Tony Iaconelli, and Les Hagan are all in as coaches. And we had 4 teams that were inducted, and will be our 5th team will go in tonight. So when a few of us got together, the development group, the athletic group, the alumni group, we said, you know, it's time that we bring this back. Because as you'll hear and as you know, the athletics in this school have just started to skyrocket. And there are so many great athletes that we would like to recognize. And so we thought it was time to come back. We thought it was time to make it an athletics-only Hall of Fame, which is what we did. And when we got together about how do we kick this back off, we thought the best idea would be, first thing we said was we were going to start with everyone 15 years or out. The young guys, they're all going to get their chance sometime to be up here. But we started 15 years and out, and we said, let's go to one person from every one of the 10, at that time, 10 major sports. As you'll hear later on, we have many more than that now. But let's pick one. And what we've got here tonight, as you all know from the list, it's sort of that cream of the crop. Like when you think of that sport, that's the person that maybe comes to your mind right away. So we thought it was an excellent way to sort of catch us back up, get back to the point where we're recognizing all these great student athletes that are part of the brotherhood here at St. Augustine. So without further ado, let's move on to our next person.
Hey, Davey-O. Steve Sicking here to say congratulations on being elected to the St. Augustine Prep Hall of Fame for basketball. I can't think of anyone more deserving. Of all the years I played there was no one more relentless than you at the game and more passionate about the game. I know you went on to even bigger and better things following high school, but really special to be with you on that state championship team. And I wish I could be there this evening to celebrate with you, but as you can see, I'm busy with business away. So, in any event, congratulations, enjoy your evening, you deserve every bit of it.
Conversation doesn't go by within a week where someone asks me who's the best player you've ever coached, and David Orlandini's name comes up every time for a lot of reasons. Without question, David, you are one of the most versatile players I've ever had the opportunity to coach. You're one of the few kids who could have played the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, or the 5, and be very good at whichever spot it was. But probably the best attribute about you is you were a lot of fun to play with. You were the kind of guy everybody wanted to be around, and the kind of guy that your personality was infectious to everyone else. It was a pleasure coaching you. I know you had a great career at Princeton also, but you had a great career at St. Augustine, and it's an honor to have you come into our Hall of Fame.
Hello, everyone. I'd like to start by thanking the St. Augustine Hall of Fame committee for electing me to the Hall of Fame. It's quite an honor. Secondly, I'd like to say it was good to see Coach Rodeo back on the sideline this year after everything he went through. It's amazing to think that he's been on that sideline since the late 70s. It's a heck of a run, and I mean, there's a whole lot to say about longevity, and quite frankly, if you keep up this pace, Coach, they're going to run out of things to say, and that's a good thing. So, keep on trucking, Coach. I think it's a testament to Coach that if you ask all the players that came before me and the many that came after me about their time in the prep uniform, they say it was an honor, myself included. But I've also had the distinct honor of being coached by those who Coach had on his staff in the early 80s. Two of them were close family friends, and I feel compelled tonight to mention them. First and foremost is Mr. Tom Bono. Mr. Bono was a longtime family friend, and those who frequented Richland in the late 70s know he owned the deli on Route 40 and the railroad tracks. I think that's the only reason you probably would frequent Richland back then, was to go to Mr. Bono's deli. It was awesome to have someone you knew all your life on the sideline during our championship run in '82. After we defeated Bailey-Eller for the state title, Mr. Bono famously took out a piece of chalk in the parking lot of the Meadowlands Arena, got down on a knee, and wrote in Italian, "The pig is dead." Anybody that followed us that year will know what that means. Secondly, Coach had on his staff Jimmy DiDomenico. Jimmy D was a great player in Buena at the time, and I remember as a kid watching him play against my brother Billy, and I followed him in the newspaper, back when newspapers were actually a thing. It was very cool to have him in the program and think, man, I could do what he did, And last but not least was Tom Baruffi. Tom lived next door in the old Roosevelt Boulevard neighborhood in Vineland, where there was always a game going on. And not only did I grow up next to Tom, but I watched every high school game of his because he played on Coach's first team at the prep in 1978, along with my brother Bobby. So to say it was an honor to have him on the sideline and the coaching staff my senior year just doesn't seem to do justice. Thank you, Coach, for putting together such a great staff. But that 78 team, that was the team that started everything. We'll go some more. I'm going to throw some more names at you, Coach, besides my brother and Bobby and Tommy. Chris Lirio, Joe Corbo. That team, that 78 team, they set the bar. They were scrappy. They played good, hard basketball, and they opened the door to our success. And we had some success in the early 80s, and we had a lot of firsts. First state championship in '82, first Cape championship, and our first year in the Cape in '83. First back-to-back Cape championships in '84. It was a nice run. But what I remember most was how we all got along as teammates. There was really no infighting. There was, no griping among teammates. I think the worst we had to deal was Steve Capuccio thinking he was open all the time. And Steve, you weren't, right? I got to go to class soon. I swear, every time he caught the ball, you see Steve sitting there. You'd hear this. And you'd look out the side of your eye and you see Steve like this. I don't know if Steve's there tonight, but you guys would know because if you got your food before him, he'd be at the table behind you going like this. Hell, I mean, if that's the worst thing we had to deal with, we did all right as teammates. And we didn't even mind throwing Steve the ball because he could flat out shoot it, right? But I guess the moral of the story is we had chemistry and you can't teach that. There's not a science teacher in a lab anywhere that could recreate that. So I'd like to thank everyone that I played with in my 4 years at the prep, which are way too numerous to name. I'd like to thank all those players that came before us who set the bar so high. And I'd like to thank all the coaches that I played under because without them, it would be a lonely honor. Also, I'd like to congratulate all the other honorees tonight. Salute to you. And I hope everyone enjoys the rest of the evening. Stay safe and good night.
David Orlandini was the first member of the Hermits 1,000-point club, and you'll see the listing in the back there. He scored 1,514 points for the Hermits, all without the benefit of the three-point line. He would hold the school record until his career in a career until 1997. He went on to Princeton University, where he averaged 10.2 points per game during his career. His 51.3% career shooting percentage from three-point is still an Ivy League career record, and he shot 54.5% from threes in the year of 87 and 88, also an Ivy League record. And it's amazing, you know, and I was here being, again, part of that class of 82, where David talked about teammates. And one of the teammates is here, and Steve is here, and he's clapping, and he is wide open over there. But that team was so close together. Another one of his teammates is represented here tonight by his family. Bob and Lillian Ashton are here, parents of Rob Ashton. They're here tonight. And that just goes to show you that it's the team and the brotherhood extends past just the players. It extends to others' families. And speaking of families, David's brother Bobby and his sister-in-law Danielle are here representing him. So representing the class of 1984 in the sport of basketball, David Orlandini. And now our next recipient.
Danny Fabry was part of the Prep's inaugural team. The wrestling team started with few athletes who had any prior experience. Danny was one of those few. His experience and leadership helped to catapult us through the South Jersey Parochial League title 3 times, District 32 and Cape Atlantic Division II championships, and 2 Parochial B state titles during his high school career. He, along with my son Bobby and Billy Ward, were the anchors to our success. I ask much of all of our wrestlers, but more of a special few. Danny was one of those few. Danny pushed himself to achieve greatness and inspired all around him to do the same. I am honored to have coached such a special wrestler, and I'm very proud of the man you have become. Danny, thanks for all those wonderful memories.
Dan Fabry from the class of 1985. Dan helped guide the Hermits wrestling program to back-to-back state championships, the first 2 state championships in the program's history, and just in their 3rd and 4th year of varsity competition as a school. Individually, he was a 2-time District 32 state champion in 1984 and 85. Ladies and gentlemen, representing the sport of wrestling, Dan Fabry.
I wanted to thank everybody here for electing me into this into the Hall of Fame here. I didn't really prepare a speech, but I'm proud to be a Hermit wrestler and associated with the Hermits, and it's been a big part of my core values throughout life. I'd like to thank that table right in the middle. There's a few teachers that were involved in my schooling, and one of my best friends here, Billy Ward. I'd like to thank him and my teammates. It was a great experience. Thank you.
Hi there, my name's Lenny Dolson, the golf coach here at St. Augustine Prep. First, I'd like to congratulate Ryan on his honor of making the Hall of Fame here at St. Augustine Prep. One thing about Ryan, he was always a very dedicated golfer, and right off the get-go, I knew that Ryan was going to take the sport very seriously, and he's one of the only ones that ever made it a career. Ryan is one of the few that took his career very seriously, and now he's the assistant golf pro at Great Bay Country Club. Every time I go there to play a match, Ryan's always waiting for me in a parking lot with a golf cart. He comes out, talks to me while we're playing. One thing I can say about Ryan, he was a 4-year starter for me. He started as his freshman year, and he played all 4 years for me. He contributed in a lot of ways to the winning ways that we had. We had a lot of undefeated seasons while Ryan was here, and I knew I could always count on Ryan in one of the matches to play very well.
Ryan Owens was a two-time all-conference golfer who led the Hermits to multiple CAL championships. During his 4 years, the Hermits golf program was undefeated. Ryan is a well-respected professional in the golf community, as evidenced by his incredible turnout this evening by members of the Great Bay and his colleagues, and we appreciate his family being here. Ladies and gentlemen, representing the sport of golf from the class of 2005, Ryan Owens.
I got a feeling that tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It's an absolute honor to be here tonight. Thank you to the committee for voting me in, allowing me to be up here and give thanks to the people that mean the most to me. My family, friends, teammates, my coach, Lenny Dolson, who's here. Mr. Carmichael, who's in the back, one of my teachers. Mr. TJ Coyle, who's here as well, one of my teachers. Father Paul, thank you for your support when I was here. The time I had here at the prep, with the brotherhood I developed with the friends that I met. Paul Myers is here, my classmate, who I consider a brother. My teammates, getting me through some of the hard times and then also the good times with the state titles and allowing me to be here. To my parents, the sacrifices you made to allow me to be here and enjoy myself as a prep brotherhood member. So thank you and enjoy the evening.
I think it's safe to say that St. Augustine Prep Swimming has been one of the most successful and well-respected programs in the state of New Jersey for nearly 20 years now, and there is no one person more responsible for that than Christian. He was the one that put prep swimming on the map. During his 4 years, he helped guide the program from a good one to one of the best in the state, and one that people wanted to be a part of. Christian had a relentless work ethic and a desire to succeed that really made everyone around him better. During his 4 years, he delivered in so many big moments, and I knew that we could always count on him because he was going to be ready. There was no moment that was too big because he worked for it, and he outworked everyone else, and he did the work even when nobody was watching. And it was an honor to be his coach during his time at the prep, and I'm incredibly proud of all the things he accomplished, and I can honestly think of nobody more deserving for this honor than Christian. I'm incredibly proud to congratulate him on becoming one of the newest members of the St. Augustine Prep Hall of Fame.
Christian Sprang, the class of 2005, was the two-time Press Swimmer of the Year. He won the Meet of Champions 500 freestyle in 4:36.59 in 2004. He was second in the same race in 2008, but with a better time. He led the Hermits to the state non-public title in 2004 and to the non-public A title the following year. He and his brother Ryan, who coached the Hermits, were the ground floor of establishing the swimming dynasty at St. Augustine Prep, which has resulted in multiple state championships. Following graduation from the prep, he went on to a successful career at the University of Michigan. Ladies and gentlemen, representing the sport of swimming, Christian Sprang.
So good evening, everyone. Thanks for being here tonight. I first want to thank the committee for primarily recognizing me. I think it's a tremendous honor considering the long history of athletic excellence at St. Augustine. So to be included in this class with everyone that's come before us is definitely an honor. But I think more importantly, I want to thank them for bringing this back. I think it's a great way to continue with the Hermit Brotherhood tradition and recognizing the accomplishments of some of the athletes. So while I'm excited to be here tonight, I'm definitely excited to see it continue to grow with a lot of future classes. In addition to that, I just have a few thank yous, people I want to recognize and groups I want to recognize that have been definitely influential in my athletic career, starting with my family. So I'm the youngest of 4 boys, 3 older brothers. They were as much a part of my success since this time I was 8 all the way through my college career. They were with me every step of the way, shared the joys, shared the heartache as well, but always extremely supportive. As was mentioned, my brother Ryan was the coach from my sophomore through senior year, and my brother Matt was also my coach my senior year. So for how influential they were in my athletic career, to cap off my high school career with both of them supporting me is truly special. Second, I want to thank the teammates. So, St. Augustine, when I started swimming here, it was a fairly new program. It had only been around a few years. And so a lot of times when we were going into meets, we were somewhat considered the underdog for a lot of those competitions. We didn't have the long tradition that some of those other programs did. But our team, it was just a group of guys, grew up swimming. Some swam together previously, some didn't. But everyone was truly committed to each other, to giving their best in every race in order to have a better team outcome. And so we went into these meets against Holy Spirit, Cherry Hill East, St. Joe's, seen as the underdogs, but coming through with this team specifically was very special to me, and I'll always remember those memories. And then finally, I want to thank the St. Augustine community and the administration at the school. I've had a lot of friends that I've met through club swimming and through college that came from great programs all over the country, but I don't think there are too many people that can say that they've had the same experience that I had when I was at St. Augustine. And a lot of that started at the top with leadership. And for me, it's recognizing Father Paul and Mrs. Deary. Not only were they supportive of the program and the accomplishments of each individual swimmer, but they were truly invested in the success of the team and seeing each team member be successful. I have a lot of memories talking to Father Paul during meets, getting excited. When we had Cherry Hill East that afternoon and we knew it was going to be close, he'd stop me and ask me who was swimming what and how much we were favored by or what was going on. Him being there on the pool deck before and after every meet, like I said, he truly cared about the program and the success, and that continued on. I can remember as a college student coming back and seeing the forum here and the new pool they were built, how excited he was to see the growth of the program. Like I said, I don't think there's too many people that can say that they've had that same experience and that same support in their high school career. And I think that's something that really sets St. Augustine apart. So thank you, Father Paul, Mrs. Deary. Thank you for the continued support. Thank you for my family, teammates, and the St. Augustine community. This is an honor and proud to be here. Thank you.
So, those of us that come back to campus now and have been back around, maybe that sent our sons here like I did, there's a few things that you're jealous of when you come back, when you went to school here back when we did. Obviously, the facilities, the beautiful facilities that they have for athletics, the education and all that. But I think more than anything, the thing I'm jealous about is the lunch program. I mean, can you imagine having a chef on staff all day to come and eat here every day, and I think the kids talk about it all the time. And our presentation tonight from Chef Vinny Birdie and his staff. Fantastic as usual. And what we're going to do now is, like I said, we're going to take about a 15-minute break just so you can go enjoy some of that food. There's food on both sides. Please get it back to your tables, and then we're going to continue with some more inductees in a little bit. We'll be back in about 15.
Face down on the mattress one, and you hold me, and we are broken. Still it's all that I wanna do, just to live and I'll feel myself heavy off the ground. I'm scared I'm not coming down. No, no, and I won't run from my life. She's got my thoughts now locked down in a smile, but nothing is alright, alright. Something else to get me through this life, baby. I want something else. Not listening when you say
wears a braided chain made of finest silver from the north of Spain. A locket that bears the name of a man that Brandy walks through a silent town and loves a man who's not around. She still can hear him say, she hears him say, Brandy, you're a fine girl. What a good wife you would be. Such a fine but my life, my love and my lady is the same.
Summertime is finally here. That old ballpark man is back in gear out on 49. Man, I can see the lights. School's out and the night's rolling, man. Just like a long lost friend you ain't seen in a while. You can't help but smile. And it's 2 bare feet on the dashboard. One we know, it's a smile, it's a kiss, it's a sip of wine, it's summertime, sweet summertime. Temperature says 93 down at the deposit and guarantee, but that swimming hole, it's nice and cold. Bikini bottoms underneath, but the boys' hearts still skip a beat when them girls shimmy off them old cut-offs. And it's 2 bare feet on the dashboard, young love and an old Ford, cheap shades and a tattoo and a yoo-hoo bottle on the floorboard. Perfect song on the radio, sing along 'cause it's one we know. It's a smile, it's a kiss, it's a sip of wine, it's summertime, sweet summertime. The more things change, the more they stay the same. Don't matter how old you are, man, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, baby, when you got 2 bare feet on the dashboard, young love and an old Ford, cheap shades and a tattoo and a yoo-hoo bottle rolling on the floorboard. Perfect song on the radio, sing along 'cause it's one we know. It's a smile, it's a kiss, it's a sip of wine, it's summertime, day and dream of a girl I used to know. I close my eyes and she slipped
pretend I don't live in it. Sunshine gonna wash my blues away. Had sweet love, but I lost it. She got too close, so I fought it. Now I'm lost in the world, trying to find me a better way. Wishing I was knee deep in the water somewhere. Got the blue sky breeze and it don't seem fair. Only worry in the world is the tide gonna reach my chair. Sunrise, there's a fire in the sky. Never been so happy, never felt so high. And I think I might have found me my own kind of paradise.
Wrote a note, said be back in a minute. Bought a boat and I sailed off in it. Don't think anybody's gonna miss me anyway. Mind on a permanent vacation. The ocean is my only medication. Wishing my condition ain't ever gonna go away.
Cause now I'm knee deep in the water somewhere. Got the blue sky breeze blowing wind through my hair. Only worry in the world is the tide gonna reach my chair. Sunrise, there's a fire in the sky. Never been so happy, never felt so high. And I think I might have found me my own kind of paradise. This champagne shore washing over me.
It's a sweet, sweet life, living by the salty sea.
One day you could be as lost as me.
Change your geography, maybe you might be.
Knee deep in the water somewhere. Got the blue sky breeze blowing wind through my hair. Only worry in the world is the tide gonna reach my chair. Sunrise, there's a fire in the sky. Never been so happy, never felt so high. And I think I might have found me my own kind of paradise. Come on in, the water's nice. Find yourself a lip slice. Grab a backpack and lunch. You never know until you try. When you lose yourself,
you find the key to paradise.
ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please make your way back to your seats, please. Our program will begin shortly.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, as I said earlier, we obviously want you to enjoy the rest of this food as we continue with our program and move on to our next inductees. Before I do that, a couple of recognitions that we'd like to make tonight. With all the members of the Hall of Fame, you've seen the names up behind me on the screen. There are many of them that are here this evening, and I'd like them all just to stand up as I call your name. We'll give one round of applause for all of them. Mr. Anthony Spina, Mr. Don Healy, Ed Perugini, Michael Carabrese, Coach Paul Rodeo, Father Paul Galetto, Robert Orlandini, Bill Ward, Michael Rizzo, Dennis Foreman, and Brian Coyle. We thank them for being here tonight as members of this Hall of Fame. We also want to acknowledge, as you see some people working here in their blazers, we want to acknowledge our student athletes, our student ambassadors that are here this evening working for us. And now let's continue our program with our next inductee.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Nick Catalana, St. Augustine Prep class of 2007. I also had the great privilege of rowing with Neil in the 2005 state champion varsity 8. I first want to congratulate you, Neil, on such a great accomplishment. Well deserved, and just super excited for both you and your family. We're very lucky at St. Augustine Prep to have a tradition of success across many different athletic programs. But once in a while, an athlete comes along that completely changes the way that that program measures success. And that person for the rowing program was undoubtedly Neil McPeak. When I think about Neil McPeak, I think of Neil McPeak, the great friend. I think of Neil McPeak, the great business mind and advisor. But most of all, I think of Neil McPeak, the great competitor. I think back to a very foggy April morning back in 2005 at the New Jersey State Championships on the Cooper River. No one was expecting St. Augustine Prep to challenge for a medal position in the Varsity 8, but sure enough, that morning, Coach D'Amico had us prepared, pushed us off the dock, and a few minutes later, we came back as state champions. We've won a lot of races since then, Neil, both in rowing and in life. But we won that day because we were following your lead. And not just your lead in the way that you trained and pushed yourself, but in the way that you completely set the standard for everyone else. You set the table for many more to come, more than I think you even realize. Tonight, you are all celebrating Neil McPeak, the great athlete, now the Hall of Fame athlete, but I am very privileged to know Neil McPeak, the Hall of Fame's son, husband, father, brother, and great friend. Neil, congratulations, brother. Enjoy the night.
Neil, congratulations on your inductee to the Hall of Fame. It really is a great honor for you. I remember way back when you were a freshman, tall, skinny kid who really didn't do anything to your junior year when you became one of the best oarsmen in the country, and I learned a lot from you. And the guys in your boat that year, our first state championship, you made them a better boat, and you made me a better coach, and now you're making the school a better school. So congratulations, we love you, and God bless you.
Neil McPeak from the class of 2005 led the 2005 Hermits to their first ever Varsity 8 state championship. He was named to the United States national team that year, which won the Junior World Championships in Germany. At the University of Pennsylvania, he captained the Varsity 8s in both 2008 and 2009. Ladies and gentlemen, representing the class of 2005 and the sport of rowing, Neil McPeak.
Good evening, everyone. It's quite an honor to be here tonight. And that introduction, I got pretty teary-eyed listening to both those people, so thank you very much for the kind words. I shared a really special moment, actually, with my son when we walked into, I'm getting a little emotional, but when we walked into the hall, and I started to show him all of the state champions, and I went line by line. I said, this is from rowing, this is from hockey, this is from swimming. And his reaction was the same exact reaction that I had when I first came to the halls of St. Augustine. And it's a sense of pride that you have deep in your bones for this school. Whenever you come back, you're so proud of the individuals that have had success with the St. Augustine and Hermits name. So it's a very special time to see all of these people recognized, and thank you for the committee for bringing this back. For our sport of rowing, we have a very unique sport. It's a little bit different. We don't have someone who can win at the buzzer. You know, we don't have a person who's going to make the last shot. We don't have the person who's going to score the last goal. We have one unified goal of getting that bow ball or the bow of that boat ahead of everyone else. And if we're not unified and doing it together, that boat is not going to go fast. It's just not going to win. So while these words are extremely kind, you know, it is truly a team effort and the boat itself that goes across the finish line. So I'd be remiss if I didn't thank, you know, all of my classmates of 2005, you know, Jimmy Germano, Adam Jones, you know, the other guys in the boat, Andy Carter, Terrence McLean. Josh Kolajewski is here with us tonight. We had Jack Lindemann. We had Nick Catalana, Rich Policastro, Nick Scrivani, and we had three amazing coaches in Coach D'Amico, Coach McGuire, and Coach Duffy. But this is extremely special. Thank you so much for the recognition. Thank you very much for the school, for doing everything that you've done to support the athletes. And have a great evening, everyone. Thanks again.
So here's the thing about Sean. Sean came into our program just as we were starting to become a real threat in South Jersey. And it was important that we continue to get players of his caliber. All of the local coaches were after Sean, and we were fortunate to get him. He came in as a potential Division I catcher. And he also came in with great bat speed and a fearlessness at the plate that made him one of the better hitters probably to ever go through our program. But the best thing about Sean, even given his skills as a catcher, was his versatility. Sean could play multiple positions, usually better than the regular at that spot. And perhaps the thing I enjoyed the most out of Sean as a coach was that he was no drama. He came to the field every day, he checked the lineup, and he went out and played. He went on to have a great career at Rider University, and he is clearly one of the guys that was a building block for the tremendous success that our baseball program has had. Sean, congratulations, a well-deserved honor.
Sean Olson from the class of 2005, a complete player who earned first team All-CAL in 2003, 2004, and 2005. He was named to the first team All-South Jersey his senior year, where he led the team to the Cal Championship. He went on to play at Rider University, where he maintained a .319 career batting average. He was a three-time first-team All-MAC and All-New Jersey pick. As a senior, he was named second-team All-East and New Jersey Division I Player of the Year, while also earning MAC All-Tournament Team recognition. Interestingly, his 100th career hit in both high school and college came way of the home run. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome presenting the class of 2005 in the sport of baseball, Sean Olson.
Let's go! Yeah. For those of you that want to know what we're all about, it's like this, yo. This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15%.
All right, thank you, everyone. This is all still very surreal to me. Thank you, everybody, for an amazing evening. It's been an absolute honor. Thank you, committee, for your recognition and consideration for this. So, similar to what Neil said, just hit with a wave of emotions and memories when I walk through the door. I see Father Paul in the back. He goes to give me a hug. I kind of flinch a little bit because I thought he was going to pull the hairs on the back of my neck, which he often did to reset me in the hallways. Happened a bunch. So, I see Colo in the crowd. I'm kind of waiting for you to hit the crowd with a Hugh Brown at any moment here. But yeah, a lot of memories come through, a lot of great memories, nothing but first-class experiences here at the Prep. But just a couple thank yous, to my parents. Your love, support, and dedication really is what makes all of this happen. You always put your children first, both my brother and I. You empower us to follow our dreams, so thank you for that. Coaches Ike, Pro, Bailon, Perez, and all the other ones involved in the baseball program, they were always pushing us to compete at our highest level while also making it nothing but enjoyable and fun. To all the teammates, similar to some of the other sports, these recognitions and things, they don't happen without great teammates and the personnel around you to really make you not only be a better person, but a better player. So I couldn't have done it without so many great teammates, and I thank them for so many lasting relationships and friendships that we still hold dear to this day. All the brotherhood, students, teachers, staff, administrators, alumni, and everyone else that's involved. I'm grateful for your commitment and your dedication to growing young men, giving them the opportunity to be the best versions of themselves, because that's what truly makes this place special. And to my family, you can see it's quite hectic. Those are my kids running around acting crazy, as expected, but they're always by my side to support me in these events and through the good times and the bads, and I love them. I love my girls dearly. Lastly, as I said, thank you to the committee members, the event planners. This is awesome, and it just shows how first class the prep really is. So thank you all.
Talking about Mark Severi as a great athlete is a real honor for me. I came back to coach cross country after having a lot of success here, and the first day I saw him run, I thought of the great Pat Trainer and Johnny Pfaff and Jerry Cavell and Derek Bembry and all the great runners in the back when St. Augustine Prep set the standard for running in South Jersey. I looked at Mark and I watched him run. In the first 10 minutes, I saw that he was not only exceptional, but he had all the skills of all the great athletes I had ever coached combined. I found out that he had his dad helping him and supporting him coaching, and I knew he was going to be a world-class runner. So I can't congratulate him enough on all his successes, not only on the cross-country courses, but also in indoor winter track and all that he did when he went on to college. I followed his career as often as I could, and very few athletes get the opportunity to participate in Olympic trials. So he's not only a credit to St. Augustine Prep and his family, he made me very, very proud of him. So Mark, congratulations on coming into the St. Augustine Prep Athletic Hall of Fame.
Mark Severi from the class of 1991. Arguably the best distance runner in the history of St. Augustine Prep, Mark qualified for the cross-country meet and champions in 1989, where he ran a personal best 16:45. Later that academic year, he would win the 1600-meter race at the Spring Meet of Champions with a time of 4 minutes 15. He would continue his running career at Georgetown University, where in 1994, he became one of only a few New Jersey natives to run a sub-4-minute mile. Ladies and gentlemen, representing the class of 1991 and the sport of cross country, Dr. Mark Severi.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. And they stay there, and they say yeah, and they say there.
Hello. So obviously I'm extremely honored to be here tonight and extremely honored to be in the Hall of Fame. It's been a long time since I've been back to South Jersey and to be at the prep. Interestingly, I only came to the prep because I wanted to play basketball for Coach Rodeo. And I only came to the prep because my cousin, who lives across the street from me, was valedictorian and got a full scholarship to Villanova, and I thought that was cool. And I'm not joking that I really did not know we didn't have a track team. So when we signed up and paid the money to come to the prep, I just thought that we would have a track team. So when I got here and we started running cross country, I'm like, well, what do you mean you don't have a track team? I thought we would have that. So honestly, as you guys might know, we started a track team because I wanted to start a track team, and my dad and I wanted to start a track team. And I was relatively good at track, and I wanted to do that. So I obviously have to thank the prep for even acknowledging that I was good enough, and we were good enough to start that program, and ever since then we've had a track team. The biggest thing I remember from the prep, and the biggest thing I want to take home from that, is that when I got here, I didn't care that I had to have my hair cut here and I had to wear a tie every day and I had to wear a jacket. I actually liked that because I wanted to have the discipline to be able to focus on what I wanted to focus on. And the prep and Hermit Pride and the brotherhood, I excelled in that environment. I love the fact that I could just focus on school and athletics and to be as good as I wanted to be. And I obviously thank every day the prep for allowing me to do that. The important part of my story and to moving forward is that when I was a senior, all the accomplishments that I've accomplished were to my junior year. So in my senior year, I got injured, and during my injury, I wasn't able to compete. And at that time, I probably had 50, 75 scholarship offers at the time. And when the scholarship and the coaches realized I got injured, all of them went away except for a few of my scholarship offers to Georgetown, which I actually ended up going. My point is that during that injury is when I realized that I wanted to be a doctor, and that's what I do now. I'm a physician and I'm a doctor, and my big thing is that during that year when I look back at the prep, my injury allowed me to realize that I wanted to be a doctor and I wanted to help people get through injuries. So that was what my calling was, and so it's been a wonderful thing to be able to learn from that injury, even though I didn't get to accomplish what I wanted to accomplish at the prep as far as some of my other athletic accomplishments. I want to thank my mom and my dad who are here in the audience here for all the support they've given me throughout those years at the prep and since then, and I want to acknowledge my son and my girlfriend who I love very much and have supported me throughout the years. Thank you.
So as most of the recipients have come up here, they've all mentioned, especially coaches, they've mentioned their teammates, but they mentioned the coaches. And obviously, most are specific to one sport. Some of these people, like Mark, played in multiple sports, but a lot of them are just concentrated on one. So maybe it was a relationship with Coach Rodeo or Coach D'Amico or who it may be. But all of our athletes here have it's just great that the current athletes have the support of not only the administration and alumni and people like that, but they also have the support of one of the best athletic staffs that you can find. And that's one of the things I also talk about when I was jealous about having the food that they have here. I'm also a little bit jealous of the athletic staff that they have here, because the staff, which is led by our next speaker, with Tom Brunell and Kim Chiacchetti and trainer Matt, they sit up in that office there, and I believe that the athletes and the coaches are the soul of our athletics. But I think the heartbeat of our athletics is in that athletic office right up there. They care so much about the student athletes here in this school, and no one bleeds blue and white more than the next speaker that we have coming up. And that's our athletic director, someone I call a good friend, someone who knows Hermit Pride better than anyone, someone who always tells me it's all about the kids. He's a Hall of Fame member of the class of 2006, a St. Augustine graduate of the class of 1986, and I believe he's the hardest working man in New Jersey sports, our athletic director, Michael Rizzo.
Peace up, A-Town. Yeah!
Comedians, I'm surrounded by comedians. Thank you, David. First, congratulations to all of our inductees. It's an incredible collection of deserving men that have helped create a foundation of excellence for which we continue to build on year after year. I've had the personal privilege to watch all of you compete at the highest level, and you've all added to the love in me for this great school. I thank God every day that I get to drive here and serve our special place, our scholar athletes, our coaches, and our alum. I feel especially blessed to be here with you tonight. Thank you for that. Your legacy lives on. In the 90s and early 2000s, we started to expand our athletic offerings from the original 8 to the 22 that we have now. We are passionately proud of the life lessons we learn in sport, like discipline, work ethic, teamwork, and honor. I see this achieved every day. Not just in our traditional sports, but in some sports that you might not even know that we have, like rugby, surfing, bowling, and sailing. Our students sought to make their own niche, and they are passionately representing our school, our alum, and our families the right way every day. Thanks to you, we are currently ranked the 5th best athletic program in the state of New Jersey. We've come a long way from the small school in the woods of Richland. And now we're the team, excuse me, I always break up. When you're passionate about something this much, it's hard. But now we're the team that no one wants to face in their state tournament run. Thanks to you, our scholar athletes strive for excellence every day. Thanks to you, we have attracted a collection of coaches that are second to none statewide. Our dedicated men and women, now totaling 74, are leading and teaching our young men selflessly on and off the field every day. Their hard work is demonstrated all the time in the lifelong connections that they're making with our scholar athletes. Thanks to you, 85% of our student body participates in sport, and they overachieve every year. This year, we have celebrated 22 Division I signees, and we still have a couple yet to go. They will represent some of the finest institutions in America, including multiple military academies. To give you an idea how great of an accomplishment that is, 20% of our seniors will play Division I sports next year. The national average is 1.6%. In May, we'll celebrate over 50 athletes that are going to continue their careers at the Division I, II, or III level. Our collection of state titles are represented on the wall behind you. The total is 53 and counting. I remember I watched Coach Rodeo win that first title in '82 as an 8th grader in those stands. He did it in Hickory-like style. And now, it's the expectation. He showed us the way, dream big, and we do. Countless times I hear our coaches speak about playing for those that have come before you. Hopefully, you are all following us intently. And if you're not on Instagram or Twitter, where Hermits Athletics is posting every day, I encourage you to learn about the HBC. The Hermits Broadcasting Channel began 4 years ago. It's our own YouTube channel that live streams our varsity home games. It's a student-driven program that is helping our young men develop communication skills through sport. Skills that will continue to help their abilities in college and then as they enter their chosen field. We were ahead of the curve of a now growing commodity in all of high school. When COVID hit and spectator restrictions limited our community to watch our athletes, we were ready. We were ready to take it up a notch. And now we are live streaming almost all of our home games, sporting events, and more. It also provided us a great platform to thank our many donors. If you haven't yet, please check it out. and I hope it helps you stay engaged with us well after tonight. But there's nothing like being here live. Hopefully we will see you on campus a little bit more after tonight and enjoy what you've helped build in person. We are in the early stages of master athletic facility plans. Some of the presentations include a hockey rink, an indoor track facility, squash courts, and a soccer and lacrosse turf site like no other high school I've seen. Our ultimate goal is to host every home sport event here in Richland. And we're still trying to figure out how we're going to get a lake and an ocean on campus, but it hasn't been ruled out yet. We believe that every time one of our teams are competing against another, it's not just our team. You have to beat our whole community. The athletic experience is considerably more than just the guys on the court or the field. Since the beginning, the student fan section was always known for creative and relentless cheers. And in the fall of 2006, a fan section was officially named the Richland Rowdies. Since that time, the Rowdies have become their own brand. And nothing creates Hermit pride like watching our students support their Hermit brothers, like we do here at the Prep. It's my great honor to introduce our next inductee, the Richland Rowdies.
Pump up the volume, pump up the volume, pump up the volume, dance, dance. Pump up the volume, pump up the volume, dance, dance.
Our very own Richland Rowdies have a long and illustrious history that predates their official naming in 2006. For decades, St. Augustine Prep has had a student section that consistently cheered on the basketball team, making the Anthony J. Spina Gymnasium sound like a mini palestra. The Rowdies have since branched out to support many varsity sports, giving the Hermits one of the best home field advantages in the state. And it's fitting that two of the young men that were in that video with the, I think, orange hair are here tonight, as they were two of the people that helped start the Richland Rowdies or continue it. But someone else is here this evening who actually designed the Richland Rowdy logo that you see hanging on the wall. Mrs. Janawi, we appreciate you starting the Richland Rowdies. And that leads us to our next inductee.
Hi, my name is Sam Miles. I've been coach at St. Augustine Prep here from 1996 to 2016. We've had some great tennis teams, but the greatest of all is the 2007 team, captained by George Ginali. George started in 2004 here. He was second singles, and then in 1995, he was beat Sean Wall to become number one singles player for 2005 season, 2006 season, and 2007 season. And he was captain of the team for all those 3 years. He amassed over 50 victories in his first 2 years, was up at 78 in his third junior year, and won 34 matches in his senior year to make it 112. He was the first one to reach 100 victories here at St. Augustine. But I got to give the credit to his mom and dad for bringing George up and bringing him to St. Augustine.
Congratulations, George. Getting into the Prep Hall of Fame is a tremendous accomplishment. Looking back on your career, there's a couple things that really stand out. You know, your fierce competitive nature, your leadership on and off the court, and of course, clinching the victory against Del Barton to win the state title. I think that looking back, you always going to be remembered for your wins, the way you competed, and your overall legacy is just something to really be truly proud of. Congratulations.
George Janawi of the class of 2007 was a four-time All-South Jersey selection, four-time press first team, including Player of the Year in 2007 and Cal First Team All-Star. He was the first player in St. Augustine Prep to reach 100 career wins, finishing with 116. Named to the All-State non-public team for 4 straight years, he was captain of the tennis team his junior and senior years and led the 2007 team to the Prep's first ever state championship in tennis. Ladies and gentlemen, representing the sport of tennis, George Janawi.
How you guys doing? Wow, that was, I couldn't help to get a little choked up as well. That was really a special introduction by my coach, Coach Miles, and my number 2 singles, Chaz, who ended up being an amazing player. But the video, the Richland Rowdies, this school just means so much to me. All the talk about how it's a brotherhood and all of the amazing memories, it's not something the students exaggerate about. It's real. So it's one of the best things that's ever happened in my life. And first, I'd like to thank my parents who seriously they sacrificed a lot for me to come here. It's something that I know that wasn't easy for them to do. They almost forced me to come here. Coach Miles knew my dad, and he wanted me to come here to play tennis, and I didn't want to go with the all boys. I didn't understand. I'm from Glassboro, New Jersey, so I'm a little bit away from here. So, but I loved it. I ended up growing to love this place, and I thank my parents, my mom, who drove me, day in, day out for practices. I played soccer as well, so I would have loved to play basketball, but Coach Rodeo, I don't know. He was recruiting guys more than 5'9", so. But that's okay. But and then my dad, who coached me my whole life, he literally took me out on the court since I've been 3 years old, just going out there playing. He sacrificed so many nights, taking me to tournaments, just being with me, coaching me up, teaching me how to play tennis. And then also a special shout out to my sister Jen, who is in the Glassboro Hall of Fame for tennis as well, and she was my number 1 practice partner. She was 3 years older than me. So, once I started to get to her level and above, I knew I was doing something good, because she was the heck of a tennis player as well. She's the best in the family, and I always strove to be as good as her, and I want to say thank you to her as well. But just most importantly, just one quick memory. I remember coming to school, playing tennis, and I remember experiencing a tough thing my freshman year. I thought I was going to play number 1 my freshman year, and I didn't. I got beat by Sean Wall, who I knew previously. And then I hit a little growth spurt going in sophomore year. My goal was to play number 1 singles, and I did. And then we lost to Del Barton in the state championship for the next 2 years in a row. And my new goal was we need to win a state championship. I would love to win a state championship, and we just got blasted for those 2 years. And I remember my junior year, I came close to winning my match, and the next year we had Chaz, who is the coach now, who is a dear friend. He came close to beating me. We played 3 matches, 3 challenge matches, 2 out of 3, and he beat me the first match, and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's a chance I might lose to this kid, But that experience made me fight harder in those matches, and we battled each other to see who was going to play number one, and I ended up beating him. And I told him, I said, listen, this is the type of competitive nature that we need come June when we play Del Barton in state final. We're going to need that. And me and him grew like brothers. Billy Horse won a big match, and I always just knew it was going to come down to my match. And we lost two matches right away, and then our third singles won, and our Chaz was in a third set, and he won, and then I ended up closing it out against Del Barton. It was probably the best memory, and I'm just thankful for everybody here, Father Paul, Mr. Cass, just everybody, Coach Ike, who's not here, but I love him, Coach Rodeo. You guys are all great, and I'm really honored, and I feel truly blessed, and I just want to thank my family and thank God and just thank all of you. I appreciate it.
Let me tell you why I love and respect Billy Hambrick. Billy came into the prep as a highly touted football player. Everybody in the South Jersey area was after him. But in his freshman year, he played on a football team that was 0-10. I was the interim head coach of that football team. And Billy started as a freshman. Started in the defensive secondary. And about midway through that year, Billy wound up as our starting quarterback. He played every snap the rest of the way. At one point in that season, on consecutive weeks, we played Hamilton High School and got beat 65-0. The week after that was St. Joe, who beat us 75-0. Billy took every snap in those two games. Billy probably played on one of the worst football teams maybe ever to play in South Jersey. It was that bleak. And yet, Billy came every day. He never complained. He took every snap. And that's why I respect Billy. But let me tell you why I love Billy Hambrick. I love Billy because he stayed. Where a lot of guys would have just left after that disastrous freshman year, Billy stayed. Billy stayed for the next 3 years. He worked every day to make himself a player, and even though things got a little bit better, it was far from great. But Billy stuck to it. Billy was loyal. Billy made himself into a great player. And when he signed at Rutgers, nobody who had seen him over the last 4 years was surprised. He was a warrior, he was determined, and overall he was loyal. We've been fortunate to have a lot of kids play Division I college football, big time Division I college football. But none of those signees maybe have been as important for the future development of our program than Billy Hambrick. This is a well-deserved honor. Billy, congratulations.
Bill Hambrick of the class of 2000 was named the first team CAL and received a full scholarship to Rutgers University. He finished his decorated college career as an All-Atlantic 10 academic football team at Hofstra. Ladies and gentlemen, representing the sport of football, Bill Hambrick.
I don't know how I follow Coach Ike on that one. It wasn't that bad. It sounds a lot worse than it really was. First, I'd like to thank the committee. This is a tremendous honor. There's phenomenal athletes that walk these halls today and going back to the inception of the school. I've got to thank my family, without my parents and their support, you know, the half-hour, 40-minute drives to and from. Without that, I wouldn't be where I am right now. So they were a huge part of, my high school career and the love and support afterwards as well to this point. There's a lot of people in this room. It's almost like coming home. Get to see Father Paul, who I probably haven't seen in about 10 years. Mr. Spina was my sophomore Latin teacher. Mr. Carmichael in the back, the bartender. He actually knows a little bit about history. The Coyle family. There's so many people in this room that have an effect on you. I know this is athletics, but they have an effect on you off the field as well. The teachers, the faculty. I'm very fortunate to be able to come here for 4 years. And, if I missed anybody, Coach Ike, Coach Rodeo, played for Coach Cat, played for Coach Riz. I wasn't very good at basketball, but thankfully I'm not here for basketball. But thank you, congratulations to all the athletes. Everybody enjoy your night, and thank you.
So in the early 2000s, there was a lot of things that were going on here at St. Augustine. It was sort of a transformational time. There were new buildings popping up. This building opened in 2007. There were new sports that were starting. There was an explosion in the enrollment here. And I think so much of that had to do with the vision of Father Paul Galetto and what he envisioned that this school could be, as Father Murray mentioned earlier, of what he thought it could be. And at that time, were these sports that were popping up and things that were happening. Basketball was still at its high level, baseball, some of the other teams. But as you see, some of these other teams started to make their name in South Jersey and in New Jersey. And that was because, and if you look at the list of people here, we could have had a whole list of just one night of people from the class of 2005 and then 2007. But one of the teams that sort of galvanized that entire time here at St. Augustine was the 2007 hockey team. It was Father Paul's vision to bring hockey to this high school where a lot of other South Jersey teams didn't have it. And it was something about that team that brought the whole school community together. It was really the Rowdies that started to branch out other than just with basketball. And it was something about that team in 2007 that when the committee got together and said, we want to pick another team to go in, the name that came up over and over again was the 2007 hockey team. The 2007 St. Augustine ice hockey team went 23-0-0, capturing the school's first state championship in ice hockey. In doing so, they became the first school in state history to win the state championship, going unbeaten and untied for the season. Entering the tournament seeded fifth, they defeated Gordon's Conference schools Seton Hall Prep, Del Barton, and St. Peter's Prep to win the title. Their success led to St. Augustine Prep being invited to the Gordon Conference for 2007-2008. This team was also inducted into the New Jersey High School Hockey Hall of Fame in 2008. Representing the sport of ice hockey and the class of 2007, please welcome the 2007 St. Augustine ice hockey team and their head coach, Tim Fingerhut.
This will be the most unorthodox speech you're ever going to hear. Everybody else was so politically correct, and I love you guys. It's awesome, and I'm going to take us right off the lane. First, I have to start by saying, Mr. Carmichael, Mr. Enos, working the bar, stop giving Mr. Rizzo Shirley Temples. Give him a shot of Jack. Toughen him up, please. Stop crying at these events. We love you, Riz. Okay? On another note, the individual inductees tonight, what you've done, the hard work that you've put in to be here tonight, it's tremendous. As a former athlete, I understand what it takes to be at the top of your game, and for you guys to be here tonight and be inducted to the school that you represented it, congratulations, it's awesome, okay? 23-0. You think, man, perfect season. How easy is that? Well, it starts out great. You have tryouts 3 days. You send a list over to the athletic office, and they post the list up. However, the list I sent over, we didn't have to use. My players decided that they were going to make their own list. And they posted the list up, and it had all the kids that didn't make the team. And they posted up, you guys remember this? Yeah, you're all laughing, right? They post this list up, and I'm getting phone calls from freshman parents that these kids can't even skate. Coach, I'm so excited to be on the varsity team. And I'm going, what are you talking about? And I get a phone call, I think Father Paul or maybe Ike at the time was the athletic director, and he goes, listen, a couple of guys did a little spoof, blah, 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 blah. I'm going, here we go, this is great. This is how we're starting the season off. We're, busting chops to the young kids coming in. But again, that's the kind of group we had. So for me, coming on board, I have two fears in life. My biggest fear is flying. I've had 2 crash landings, almost died on both of them. Thank God I'm here today. My second fear was when I had the opportunity to meet Father Paul. And he said, it's very simple. I love ice hockey. You need to be successful. I'm thinking, man, if I'm unsuccessful, this guy's going to condemn me to hell. So sure enough, I look at this group, and we had some tremendous players. We had Don Marone. If Don Marone wanted to be the MVP of the league and go out and score 50 goals, he could have done that. If Anthony Cassell wanted to be the best defenseman player and light up the score and get all the points he wanted, he could have done that. This team chose to be a team. And as a coach, there's nothing more rewarding than when a group of 20 men come together and say, this is how we're going to do it. This is what we're going to do to win. They did that. We have a goaltender in Kevin Healy, 5'9", 5'10", right? When your nickname is Brick Wall, when you're a defenseman, it's okay if you make a mistake when your goalie's name is Brick Wall, because he's probably going to bail you out 9 out of 10 times. And he did that all year long. Watching him play, it was unbelievable. Watching this group of young men gel game after game. And there's times when you go into the locker room and you're losing the teams that you should be beating. And Father Mary and Father Paul, I never cursed once in the locker room. However, sometimes you got to push their buttons a little bit. And my mother-in-law always said to my wife, I was playing 7 years of professional hockey in one game. She just sat in her seat, her and her husband and my mom and my dad. And 10 seconds into the game, I hit somebody and the guy falls down. Somebody comes over and wants to fight me, and I beat the daylights out of the guy. And the guy's 6'5", and I'm barely 6 foot. And there's blood everywhere and whatever. And my mom's used to it because she just saw me be what I was my whole life. And my mother-in-law leans over to my wife, who's here today, and says, what is he going to do when he's not playing hockey? Well, that was simple. I get to beat these guys up. So when you get a group that wants to compete, that wants to win as much as you do, it's the greatest job in the world. And that's what these guys did. They came to practice. They came to games. They were relentless. We got to the point where we were 15-0, and we were playing Notre Dame. You guys remember that game? We were playing Notre Dame, and they were 18-0 at the time. So it's the battle undefeated. And I'll never forget it because Chris Ferry lines up next to their best player. And Chris was a 5'10", built like a fire plug, and just a mean, I can't curse, so that kind of guy. And lines up next to him and says, if you touch the puck, I'm going to kill you. And the kid looks at him and he says, if you touch the puck, I'm going to kill you. And he comes back to the bench. I said, Chris, what'd you say to that kid? He goes, we're good, coach. We're good. From that point on, I think these guys set the tone. We went into, as Dave said, we went into that championship run and we played 3 really, really tough teams. And no matter what, there was never a doubt in my mind that we were going to lose a hockey game. When we got to the state finals, I remember walking in the locker room. We had a lead going into the third period. I'm thinking, we got the best goalie in the league. We got the meanest defenseman in the league. We got guys on offense that can score at will. I'm like, there's no way we lose this hockey game. And the day before, unorthodox, as I said, we had a practice and we were getting at it. Not like today where everybody's a cupcake. We were competing. We were battling. We were going at it hard. We have a 2-on-2 battle drill, and all of a sudden a fight breaks out. And I'm talking toe-to-toe blows. And everybody's looking at, Coach, break it up. I'm like, no, they're good. Let them go. So they beat each other up, and they finished. I said, all right, next 4 guys, let's go. Get in the drill. And the one kid skates over to me and says, Coach. He goes, did you see that? I'm like, yeah, we're good. What's up? He's like, my brother. He's never punched me back in the face. That was Chris saying Mike Ferry, his brother who was a junior, punched him square in the face because he didn't score a goal, and Chris chopped him, and they just competed like no end. And I just looked at him and said, we're good. Get him back in line. Let's go. And these guys looking at him like I'm nuts. And right then and there, I knew there was nothing that was going to stop this group. Their compete level was like nothing I've ever coached before. Their desire to win was unbelievable. To be a part of that as a head coach, it's amazing. I did nothing. All I did was stand there behind a great group of guys that led the way. We had leadership. We had young men who wanted to win. They were the best. And I'm telling you, if there's anything that I've ever learned from St. Augustine, it is brotherhood. These guys defined brotherhood like nobody else. They did everything a coach could possibly ask. When things weren't going their way, they found a way to win. When they stuck together, they always stuck together. It didn't matter what it took. At the end of the day, they knew they were going to come out on top. And if you knew some of the makeup of the characters we had Blaise Marzelli. I never believed in soap operas in my life. When I met Blaise Marzelli, I started watching soap operas so I could figure out how to handle this guy. He had more drama with girlfriends than I've ever met in anybody in my entire life. I said, Blaise, I thought you go to an all boys school. Yeah, coach, I do. I go, Blaise, you're unbelievable. Every 5 minutes it was something. But these guys, they corralled him in, they reeled him in. And I don't want to talk anymore, but I just want to say, congrats to everyone, Mr. Catalana and St. Augustine and the staff here, Vinny, the food, the Hall of Fame, tremendous. What you do it right. You do it 100% all the time. I'm so blessed to be a part of St. Augustine, and I want to bring these guys up if they want to talk because they certainly deserve to do. Heels, anybody? Typical chickens.
Yeah, you got it. I think we'd be remiss, all of us, in chatting in the couple of hours that we've been here. Obviously, we want to thank everybody, the committee, our parents, and our families. But the name that's come up in every single conversation today, and with all the other inductees today, is Father Paul. And I think everybody in this room, everybody on our team and our experience of that journey that year, looks back and remembers the efforts and the support and the love that Father Paul gave us and the team and the school. So, Father Paul, thank you, and we appreciate everything you did. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Once again, let's hear it for the 2007 ice hockey team. So before we bring up just 2 more speakers to finish out the night, one will need no introduction. Let me just say a couple of things before I take my way off the stage, because I want to do a couple of thank yous before I come off the stage. When we got together and we talked about doing this, there was a lot of ideas, and as Dennis and I talked, I just wanted to run with it. Because as someone that's been around this school for so long, and mostly with basketball, but watching all the other sports and seeing everything, I thought this was something, and we all did, we thought this was something that needed to come back. It needed to come back for a lot of reasons. It needed to come back for the Eddie Periginis, who for years support this school and played on teams that never were able to beat the other guys. And as Riz said, we've now become that team that nobody wants to play in almost every sport. And it's a great thing that we've gotten here, and we're hoping that we can continue it. But when we got together, I said to Dennis, I just want two things. The first thing is, if I'm going to do this as the Master of Ceremonies, I need Willie Morris. And if anybody knows Willie Morris, he is the historian of St. Augustine sports. So all those stats that I read, they all came from Willie, so I appreciate him doing that. And the second thing is, we knew the date, we knew what we were going to do, and a couple of months ago, maybe it wasn't even that, maybe it was only 4 or 5 weeks ago, we got together in the Hall of Fame room and we said, everybody had their ideas on how this was going to go tonight, and Nick had an idea, and Riz had an idea, and Dennis had an idea, and I said, all right, that's good, but that's not what my idea is. And my idea, and I said, this is what I want to do. I want a video for every inductee. I want a sports video. I want something that shows the rowdies. I want interviews with coaches and people that, and they all looked at me and they said, you know it's like 4 weeks away, right? And I said, I know. And they said, and it's really going to put a lot of pressure on the communications team. And basically that means on Manny DeJamko. And they said, I don't know if we can put it all together, but I knew that Manny DeJamko was going to be able to put this together, and all the things that you saw behind me, all the videos, all the still shots, all the newspaper articles, all the stuff that you see on social media now, all those things come from the mind of Manny DeJamko, and I appreciate what he did to put this together for us, Manny. So now let me bring up someone, our Chief Development Officer, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Nick Senna.
It's pretty appropriate that everyone gets this like really cool walk-up song and I get one about fried chicken and beer, because I am the last person to ever be up on a stage for an Athletic Hall of Fame. But let me just say congratulations to all of the inductees. It's really special to be the new guy at the prep and be able to sit here and hear all of the different thank yous as you thank your communities, your personal, professional communities, your families who have made this possible for you. And I would be remiss if I didn't get up here and say a few thank yous of my own, because my team is the hardest working team that I have ever had the pleasure of getting to work with. And they all want to stay behind the scenes, so I won't call them out by name because there's too many, but the members of the advancement team, the athletics team, the admissions team, it took a community to put this event together, and I would please ask for a round of applause for all of them that made this possible. I've been here at St. Augustine Prep now for probably about a year and 2 months, and it was probably week 2 that Brendan Towell walked into my office and said, hi, I'm Brendan. I want to bring back the Hall of Fame. Can we make it possible? And I said, let's do it. Because any way that we can celebrate the work of our alumni was something that I found important. I've always found important, and we are committed to doing more and more of. Alumni are the best part of our community. And when I say community over and over again, because it's what I felt the first second I walked onto this school. It's what I feel every day at work. And it's what I hope I get to feel with the son that I'm expecting. I'm hoping that he gets to feel that in 14 or 15 years, whenever my son can get here. My beautiful wife is here today, Kelly. To all the alumni in the room, you are the best of our community, and thank you for inspiring the next generation of Hermits. We need you to stay involved. We want you to come back to this event next year, because we are going to do this every year. And as we continue to create opportunities to celebrate you, to socialize with one another, opportunities for you to give back, opportunities for you to get back, we hope you'll continue to be a part of the engaged community that we have. So with that, I get the pleasure of introducing the one person who represents our alumni more than anyone else, our own living legend, class of 1970, with 991 wins, South Jersey's all-time victory leader, Coach Paul Rodio.
Thank you, everybody. Nikki, thank you very much for the introduction. And of what you just said, a living legend, the best part of that whole sentence was the word living. So many emotions that are just going through my head sitting there. And the first thing that I wanted to do, because if you listen to what everyone said here tonight, the group of people that were thanked the most were teachers and coaches. So if you could do me a favor, anyone, whether you're retired or you're currently teaching or coaching, please stand up for me for just a minute. Teachers and coaches, please stand. Retired or not. Give them a round of applause, please. Thank you, guys and girls. The emotion that's filled this room tonight brings back so many thoughts that I had. I'm going back to 1975 when I first started here. I was a young kid and I was excited about coming, and I had a job, first of all, and second of all, I was going to be a coach, what I wanted to do, except that there was 124 kids in this school, and we were not exactly the place you wanted to be. And you've heard this mentioned 7 or 8 different times today. And all of my friends would say, why would you be there? Why don't you go to one of these places that has better facilities, more kids, Holy Spirit, Bishop Eustace, some of these places? Well, what they didn't know is by saying that to me would get me motivated even more. So Mr. Spina, who was our athletic director at the time, I would go to and talk to and say, Mr. Spina, could we play Camden Catholic? Coach Paul, sit down, relax. We're not there yet. We can't be at that spot. Well, fortunately, we did get to that spot. And we have become the team nobody wants to play in every sport. And we've heard why. It happened because of Father Paul, Father La Rosa, Mr. Spina. That's how it happened. But it also happened because of the guys sitting here and that were honored tonight. They took the brotherhood and they took the belief in St. Augustine Prep to another level. And that's why we're as good as we are today. So congratulations. And the last point I wanted to make that Father Murray made earlier, you can't emphasize this enough. To the alumni, please, if you're going to be in the area, give me a call during the day. Please stop by for lunch, talk to the kids for a couple minutes. They love to see somebody come back and talk to them, etc., etc. So you could help us. But on behalf of everyone here tonight, I want to thank and congratulate the athletes for their accomplishments, because you have set the goal for all of us to follow. God bless everybody, and thank you very much for coming.
September, love was changing my mind.
have your attention, please? Could we have all the inductees please make your way to the stage for a photo? All the inductees, please make your way to the stage for a photo. Thank you.
Look, if you had one shot, one opportunity to seize everything you ever wanted.
May I have your attention, please? All the mothers of the inductees, the bags on the center of the table are for you. All mothers of the inductees, the bags on the tables are for you.
Mom's spaghetti, he's nervous, but on the surface he looks calm and ready to drop bombs, but he keeps
Again, we need all inductees to the stage, please.
so loud he opens his mouth, but the words won't come out. He's choking how? Everybody's choking now. The clock's run out. Time's up. Over. Loud. Snap back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Oh, there goes gravity.
All inductees to the stage, please.
Give up, daddies, he know he won't have it. He knows his whole back to these ropes. It don't matter. He's dope. He knows that, but he's broke. He's so stagnant. He knows when he goes back to this mobile home. That's when it's back to the lab again, yo. This old rhapsody better go capture this moment and hope it don't do better. Lose yourself in the music, the moment you own it. You better never let it go. You only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. You better lose yourself in the music.
All inductees, please make your way to the stage, please. Sorry, sir.